Okay, this is Monday, December 18th, 2017. It's 5 p.m. This is a year-end village board meeting for the village of Pulaski held at Pulaski Village Hall, 585 East Glenbrook Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin. Can I have a roll call, pledge?
Bruce Birchkowski.
Present.
Roger Birchkowski.
Present.
Robert Gajewski.
Here.
Doug Prentice.
Present.
Chris Smith.
Here.
Robert Van Lannen.
Here.
And Reed Woodward.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
By Doug,
I'll second.
by Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons desiring to be heard.
I'd like to interject one thing. I'm going to make a request to the board in regards to having the Curative Connection band parked at library. And if you want to discuss that at the department reports, that would be fine. But if you want to wait till then, or
Yeah. We'll wait till,
okay, thank you.
and third time, persons desiring to be heard. Number 4, to consider to amend the adopted 2018 budget for the village of Pulaski. I'm going to turn the floor over to Jolie.
This is just, like I mentioned at the committee of the whole meeting as well. I don't even know if it was committee of the whole. I'm losing track of all our meetings. But this was an accounting issue that Jenny wanted to tweak the budget. There's no change in any of the rates or the numbers. Basically, in order to comply with our levy limit worksheet, she's just doing an adjustment to the property tax number and an other financing sourcing number. So it's just like a $140,000 out of the tax and into this other funding source. So it's basically a wash, but she's recommending that we do that in order that our budget numbers comply and are the same as our levy limit worksheet numbers. So that's what this adjustment would do. Again, none of the rates would change, it's just an
accounting thing
yes,
that's got to
an
be.
in and out in the same revenue accounts, so there's really no net change to anything.
I'll make a motion to amend the adopted 2018 budget.
By Doug,
Second.
second by Bob Van Lannen. Any other questions of the board? We have done this in the past, but usually we do that change before we adopt the budget, so we got ahead of ourselves this year.
Well, we had to have it into Brown County, so.
So, I have a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 5, to consider to approve to appoint the election poll workers for the 2018-2019 election cycle.
Okay, I have the regular full-time inspectors, Barbara Bonashinsky, Judith Clark, Cheryl Dorn is the chief inspector, Paula Dorn, Mary Holowinski, Arlo Tetzloff, Barbara Van Lannen. The part-time people from my list, Nancy Bogach, Tom Holowinski, and Joyce Krieger. Registration clerk is James Van Lannen, and also Tom Holowinski. He could be a part-time inspector and or with helping out with the registration up front. So those are the names. Those would be from January 1st of 2018 through December 31st of 2019.
Make a motion to approve and appoint the election poll workers for 2018-2019.
I'll second that.
Bruce is the second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Number 6, to discuss permit fees, applications for rezoning, CSMs, conditional use, etc., as per Bobby Cozell, our building inspector. And note, this is an information only. We will probably adopt this at a later date with a public hearing involved. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Jolie, please. Bobby.
Okay, I've been working on this for quite a while. I probably have about 25 hours into it. These are all the different communities that I was looking up and researching permit fees. I boiled it down to what you guys have on this sheet, which would be Denmark, Chase, Howard's close by, and then it was the town of Menasha, but now it's Fox Crossing. So the red is actually kind of the differences that you're gonna see. Our fee was the very first block down. And then the difference is what you're seeing in the red. There are some things we don't have, like if you wanted to implement, say, a park fee, you would have to do, an amendment. You have to do an ordinance for the park fee. This is a copy of what is filled out for a park fee, say in the town of Chase. And this gets, I'm sorry you guys didn't have a copy of it. I just brought it this afternoon. But this is the park fee and they submit this with the building, so we have a record of it. You can have this read. And then it shows if it's gonna be for a house, if it's gonna be for a duplex. You know, and out there they don't really have any big businesses. And then this is the boiled down version of it, would be that other page right here. That's strictly what the new proposed one would be. It would just easier for you to read, which would be this one. That would be like what the new one would actually be without trying to figure it out with the reds and everything. So you'd have a better understanding of what a proposed fee would be.
So what do you have on the red on the big sheet are
Is
these numbers here?
yes, yes.
So the park fee would be something new.
The park fee is new, and if you can see it should be in here in the red.
Yep.
And I just wanted you guys to review that, what was in the red for you, for the community. And I did have one conversation with Aaron Schutte when it got to like some of the things that may need to be improved, like for land divisions and stuff like that. So he had some of the input on that end of it. It should be the very last page.
So Bobby, the numbers in the red are
Proposed.
and do you have them equal to like the Village of Denmark?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, I was
just brought it up
comparing
here.
some of these other smaller communities and what was close by, and then the last page, some of these I had talked over with Aaron to see if there were things we were missing. Because I know I've received a phone call once or twice about if we had a fee and we didn't really have a fee for something. So it's just for your review to see if you guys would like to take a look at it. It's totally up to you, it's your decision.
The Village of Denmark, similar or a little bit smaller than Pulaski?
To be honest, I don't know the
Okay.
size.
I think
You
they're
know,
smaller, I think.
I know they're pretty small.
Chase is really growing right now.
Chase is growing.
Are they similar?
It's similar. I think Chase and Denmark are very similar, so I was using those. And I tend to go with those two because Chase was also close by and they were very similar.
Right.
And I kind of wanted to make sure it was somewhat comparable and not be off the charts or something, because we are growing.
Right. I don't know about Denmark, but I think Chase, Howard, and Fox
Right.
Crossing are all really growing right
They are
now.
growing.
Big time.
You know, and I picked out Denmark too because it looks similar and it was a little smaller community.
Mhm.
You know, more of a rural community in a way, so.
Yep.
And then there's some areas in there that would pertain to Joel's area.
Would that be in the blue? Additions, zoning, erosion control? Why are them in the blue?
Well, those are like new structures and that would be a change, and, you know, I'm not quite sure why we printed them out in the blue.
Oh, I see.
There's a note here on the very last page, all things are in red and why they're in blue.
Oh, yeah. be removed and,
Something in red.
yeah,
Oh,
something
okay.
different would be added.
Oh, because the street fishing.
And I have to give Tiffany a big applause because she actually did this spreadsheet, so I do appreciate her efforts and her work on it. Joe, do you want to say anything on your end of it, on your thing?
The only things we added were the temporary right-of-way and excavation permit. Previously, we had nothing, and this is a way, basically to make companies accountable for any time they're digging in the road or near our utilities. You know, and then we'll assess them a fee as well. Like I said, you know, that way no one can open cut our street without our knowledge. It's just kind of a way to know what's going on when anyone's doing any utility work near our utilities or street.
To eliminate any further future problems.
Correct.
I mean, it's just something for you guys to take home and take a look at and study, or
Awesome. Thanks for putting this together.
you're
Sure.
welcome. A lot of things goes to Tiffany.
Yeah, make sure Tiffany says
I
thank
started
you.
doing it on my sheet, and it's like, well, I don't know, you better do a little bit better.
Well, that's perfect for her to get to know each of these areas, because she's the first contact with any of the
Yeah.
permits.
And she's been doing a great job,
Good.
very, very good job. Any, you guys got any questions?
Some things we'd even have a fee for, it looks like, correct?
There's a lot of things we didn't
Yeah,
have a fee
fee for.
for that I see it in other communities. Now, whether or not you want to do it, it's up to you.
Well, if we can have a fee for chickens, we can have a fee for someone.
Yeah, yeah. You know, so I mean, like it said, it's totally up to you guys what you choose. It's your village and your community. But there were some things that you didn't have a fee, and it's down there that you guys can play with it and decide.
We will definitely have this as a discussion at the next meeting we have. Thank you for all the
Yep,
work.
thank you.
Bobby,
You're
what's
welcome.
a
Thank you.
factory seal home? What is that?
What is it?
Home, factory seal, so it's built
It's like a
off
HUD home,
premise,
a
driven down
double
the road,
wide,
Put on. Do
kind
we
of
allow
over
for that?
on West Glenbrook there.
Oh, okay, that was a
Yes.
HUD home, or?
Yeah, they actually have a
Manufactured
seal on
home.
there. So the basement is not part of that seal. That falls under the Uniform Dwelling Code. The house is already built to code standards at the factory when it gets shipped in two pieces. That's why they call them HUD homes or sealed, modular.
Reed, I have a question. If we would implement this new fees, could that be done at any time of the year?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
we'd like to get it done probably before the building season starts in
Yeah.
March.
You could wait a little while.
I have had several contractors
I'll
make
give you my
comments.
copy and look over it. It's not
I've
gonna be
had
too
several
bad for you.
contractors make comments how low our fees are.
Oh, okay.
And I bet you've heard the same thing.
It's good and bad.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome, thank you.
Number 7 is Black Diamond Builders. They have request for 2 assistants in multifamily development. I see that
Kevin.
Kevin, yeah. I thought it was Kevin, but I'm stumbling on that. Yeah, from Black Diamond Builders for Hayden. This request, we got it in September, and immediately reported it to the lawyer and the auditor. And there are several requests that have in couple-week intervals.
Yep.
They were all busy, and they needed time to study the document and you know, what you were asking for,
Yeah.
and they both of them said that this may be something we may want to participate, but we've got to make sure that we're taking care of our utility issues and the other issues before we start extending ourselves further.
Yeah.
We're in the process of doing that. This will be formally reviewed at the next COW meeting, which will probably be the week of the 15th of January. And I will be in touch with you and let you know. We've got, we're looking at some pretty heavy sewer and water costs to extend Pelican Drive and loop the water, which is necessary because of the growth that, you're proposing and Al was proposing. And so we need to take care of our homework first before we say, a yes. And I hope you understand that.
Yeah, I totally understand, that's fine.
And the fact that your proposal doesn't ask for anything in the beginning makes that a little easier pill for us to swallow.
Yeah,
So, once the growth is there, and then there's tax money coming in, that's a way better way for us to participate than
yeah,
these outright grants.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay. Anybody else?
I have one question on the payment that you're asking for is a maximum of 1.19 million about. And on the third full page here under developer incentive, and it talks about section 2.2 pay-go incentive. It talks about a 60 developer, 40 village.
Yeah, that's the one that threw me for.
Is that, then later the spreadsheet or whatever you got there seems to indicate that the village pays 60%, the developer pays 40. Is that the way I'm reading that? Because it's kind of unclear to me.
The developer, it's, the way I understand it, after the taxes are paid, then 60% comes back to the developer, 40% goes to the village then.
Okay.
So in a way, we are giving from that tax 60% back.
Correct.
So that's why it's kind of said twice, but backwards.
That's after I pay the tax, then it comes back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess that makes sense.
And the way I read that, that means the village does not have to actually borrow money anywhere. There's no interest
Correct.
payment for the village that needs to be paid off by the TIF.
Yep.
That
Yeah, there's
strikes me as
nothing,
good
we're
way.
asking for nothing up front. 'Cause I know you're pretty much, I know you got a big burden already there. So it's all on the back end. So there's less risk to the village that way too. I mean, if 4 buildings get built instead of 6, if they don't rent up as fast, I mean, it's just as the tax base is there. But after talking to, I know Al talked to a bunch of you guys and a bunch of business owners around here, they would all like to see it too. A lot of these places here, like only 30% of their workers live here in Pulaski.
Yeah.
So,
Have you done additional studies of the apartment style living is needed here in our village?
I haven't did study that way, but I
Okay.
know all that's going on. You can see all the ones they're building in Hobart right now.
Yeah,
And why would somebody live in Hobart if they work here and rent is actually a little cheaper here?
yeah,
Why would they live there to a point?
right,
It'd be nicer for you guys to keep everybody right here too, for all the businesses, for everything.
yeah,
But I haven't had paid somebody to do a study on it.
okay.
I'm confident it's gonna work. And that's where the TIF helps, because really it's gonna cost to build the same amount to build this apartment here versus in Hobart. And the rent's gonna be cheaper here, just because it is here. You're outside a little bit. So that's where the TIF kind of offsets that.
That makes sense.
That's if the building permits don't go up too much.
We'll see, we'll let you know when we're gonna raise it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Yep.
You can stay for the rest of the meeting if you wish. You don't have to.
Thank you for your interest in our community.
Yes, that is
appreciate
greatly
that.
appreciated.
Hey, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 8, consider approve operator bartender license applications ending 6/30 of 2018.
I have 2 of them. It'd be Eleanor Norris Gray. This would be for the Chicks and Dip. And then I have Jennifer L. Rhodes, just the 2 of these. And then that they're contingent upon certificate of schooling and to be checked out by the chief of police and to follow all Village of Pulaski ordinances.
I'll make that motion.
By Bruce,
I'll second it.
second by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, such other matters as authorized by law. Such other matters is authorized by law. 3rd time, such other is authorized by law. There be none. Number 10, Public Works, but department reports.
2 things with snow season. Please remind people to shovel their sidewalks. Did have to hand out a couple notices today. And then secondly, also if you see anyone plowing their driveways across the road or shoveling snow into the road, please advise them not to do that. And that's it.
Thank you. Sewer and water, Tom?
I have nothing tonight.
Police
I
department?
have a question on sewage, the treatment facility. You know, we have more and more people coming in and stuff. Where do we stand with, let's say, percent capacity with our system? Or do we even look at it from that standpoint? Because if our BOD level goes up because residence time goes down in the ponds, then we just get charged a little more from Green Bay, or what's the deal with that?
That's, the building part of it is basically based on flow and by the strength. The BOD, the solids, the phosphorus, the nitrates. The capacity in our pipeline that we can handle, that we own in that pipeline going to Green Bay is, I believe it's 6.5 cubic feet per second. So, I mean, we've got a lot of time. I don't know exactly what we're permitted for with the Green Bay Met, those numbers. I don't recall what those numbers are right now, what would be considered an over limit for us. But basically our rate of flow hasn't gone up that much because we don't have any wet industries.
Mm-hmm. But when the canning factory closed, I imagine that made a big difference.
That did make a difference. There was their primary season here when it was Allen Canning, they were contributing between 600,000 and 1 million gallons a day that they were using in that pipeline.
Isn't that what we're doing right about now?
Our contribution now is probably, I would say give or take, in about 500,000 a day because of the wet year. A lot of inflow and infiltration involved there. But right now, I'm confident to say that we are safe for a lot with capacity for a long time. The growth that's happening in the village is not a detrimental effect against our sewage capacity with the system. I hope that answers your question, Bob.
Good question.
I mean, I can
No,
pursue that, you know.
I don't need to know, exact percentage or anything like that. I just want to know that we're not close to having to build something, a new pipeline or new facility, So it
This
sounds
went
like
all
we're
wing
good.
at Paul, but when that thing was going into production, they built that 20-some years ago. I thought that was projected before modification without a wet business to be like a 50-year pretty safe.
I think so. You said 6.5 for CFS?
Yes.
That's a lot.
That's, what, 3 million gallons a day,
Yeah.
3.2.
We'll all be dead.
So our 500,000.
If we looked at it that way, we wouldn't be doing any tips, so.
That was depressing.
A lot of us wouldn't.
That's a very large capacity for a community like Pulaski.
You gotta remember back when all of those discussions were being, because we got the grant, we upsized it so it for sure could handle 10,000 residents. And, well, we're just 1/3 of the way there.
Just to top that off a little bit, Bob, one of the contributing factors that helps us with availability to the Met is that we pre-treat with lagoons, breaking down the strength and also deodorizing so that it's not a problem down the system between here and Green Bay.
Reed, you said grant, can you refresh my memory here a little bit? Which grant was this? Or was that before my?
We were facing probably $1,000 a quarter sewer and water bills,
Early 90s?
early 90s, and Gary Jesuiti, who was state senator at that time, put some language in a bill, and we ended up getting subsidized to the point of 90% for the cost of that pipeline.
Awesome.
So we're in great shape as long as we don't get a big food processing plant.
Yeah, it was, yeah, we only had to pay about 10% of the actual cost. So that was a big deal. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
And Jody or Karen, do you have anything?
I do not.
Miss Mark.
No, I don't have anything. That's right, here he gave me his report. That's right.
I don't have anything right now.
And I'll be E on the administration reports here, department reports. This is my second attempt to convince the board to rent out or help the Curative Connection organization with renting out a space for our vehicle. There was an ad in the paper, I'll just pass that down, you can pass that to the folks there. They're always looking for volunteers and advertising for help, so I talked with Joel just a little bit today, and he said he has all his equipment in place, and he thinks that it could be workable for us to park the vehicle there. Of course, that could change down the road very easily. I guess what I'm going to emphasize is the fact that this would very much benefit the volunteers for Curative Connection. The folks that drive the vehicles, we wouldn't have to be brushing off snow, scraping windows, whatnot. I don't know what or how the agreement was made in the past when the vehicle went there. I do recall when the Red Cross came to Pulaski, it was, I believe, in the year 2000.